Welcome to the Entrepreneur Podcast, where we take a look inside the lives of the accomplished and successful businessmen and women. We'll get up close and personal with the founders of booming startups. So lean in and prepare to carry away something to skyrocket your own business. Please subscribe to our show and do leave us a review. It means a lot to us. Now, here's your host, Rajiv.
Hey listeners, welcome to the Entrepreneur Talk Show. I'm your host Rajiv Unikrishnan, and this is the show where we talk about entrepreneurship and speak to great founders, entrepreneurs, and investors. Today we have with us Ali Madihid, Managing Director at iCommerce Asia. Welcome, Ali.
Hi, all.
Just a brief intro. iCommerce Asia is an integrated e-commerce supply chain solutions partner in Southeast Asia. They offer unique end-to-end solutions which supports and enables their clients e-commerce channels to their fullest potential. Ali did his BA in management from University of Manchester. Through the years, he has held senior management roles in various organizations, including Expeditors International, Sats Cargo, Reboons, and Zalora Southeast Asia. As an expert in his field, he also has experience in developing and managing business units and operations in US, UK, China, and Southeast Asia. Again, welcome to the show, Ali, and do fill in the gaps, if any, in the intro, and do let us know what's going on in your world today.
Okay. No worry. Thank you for having me tonight and all. Again, pretty excited to share my experience with iCommerce and why my vision is starting iCommerce in Southeast Asia, especially.
All right, great. So before we get into product, Ali, any passions outside of work?
Any passion outside of work?
Yeah.
Very good. I'm a serial workaholic, to be very honest.
Okay.
But I do read a lot. During my free time, I do cook and all to relieve some stress. I play a bit of sports, soccer.
Okay.
Also, but other than that, I think everyone that knows me can vouch that I am a serial workaholic.
Okay. So moving to product, and the inevitable question is, what inspired the idea for iCommerce Asia?
Okay. Basically, why iCommerce Asia? Some people that know me feel that this was pretty much 5 years master plan in the making since the day that I left Sats Cargo. Purely so, I said that before my midlife crisis in joining the e-commerce world,
Okay.
I spent a huge part of my life in the logistics world as a service provider. As shared by yourself, I was a GM for Sats Cargo. I was with Expeditors, YCH, and whatnot. So I having all the experience in as a logistics provider, and having experience as e-commerce in Zalora and also Ribbons.com, I realized there was a void of experience supply chain, or I say logistics service provider that can focus on e-commerce or can assist in I would say value adding value adding in the logistics or e-commerce world and all. I know there's many last mile delivery provider and all, but I think last mile the market is a bit saturated and all.
Correct.
What I feel where the market will be shifting is basically would be international cross border.
Okay.
Currently the perceived belief is in Southeast Asia that is very hard to international B2C, purely because due to different customs regulation in all the different countries. In terms of final mile, it's hard to control end to end. But to me, this is a perceived belief.
Yeah.
So this is how I differentiate myself using the experience that I had, the logistics provider, and knowing the improvement opportunity required in the e-commerce supply chain. That's why I developed iCommerce. So we position ourselves not as I won't say as a last mile service provider and all, or we position ourselves as somebody who's focused in connecting the e-commerce supply chain.
Okay, got it. So what would the vision of the company be?
So the vision of the company, at the end of the day, we want to be the leading e-commerce supply chain solutions provider in Southeast Asia.
Okay.
I believe no one is specialized in this. So we want to be playing in that realm purely because a lot of people feel that e-commerce is only last mile.
Yeah, correct.
But they don't understand there's a lot of activities that happen above the value chain.
Sure,
You know.
yes.
So that's why we want to assist all the e-commerce brands or even traditional retailers who want to focus on e-commerce by connecting basically not just the last mile, but what happens before the last mile.
Okay.
The customs clearance, the B2B, the warehousing, the production and all. So that's what we are value adding at.
Okay. So when you thought of this idea 5 years back and finally make it a reality, were there any co-founders involved in this, or it's only you?
So I would say that in terms of being the founder itself is myself and all. But
Okay.
however, rather than starting from scratch, I felt that I needed a strong tech guy and I needed a strong tech product guy.
Yeah.
So what I did rather than developing something on my own, I actually acquired two companies, two SMEs in Singapore.
Okay.
And together we combined, we officially became iCommerce effective 1st of April. And it's not an April Fool's joke.
Okay. So once you thought of the idea and took it live, how did you test the product or the idea? I mean, did you do any testing, market testing, or just straightway took it live?
Interestingly enough, during my as regional director for operations and supply chain in Zalora and all, I was given the free reins to test the concept of iCommerce in Zalora, to be very honest. You know? So we tried to do international B2C to challenging countries such as Indonesia, in Philippines, in Thailand and all, from take example a centralized DC either in Singapore or Malaysia and all. Then it was from there when I realized that I had cracked it and all, that I told myself it's time for me to go.
Okay. Okay. So you worked a lot with Karthik, I guess, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Karthik is a good friend.
Because I was there in Zalora and Lazada actually.
Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, in terms of the product, so, I mean, how does it work? I mean, for a customer, how do you...
I think, we approach different customer differently, you know.
Okay.
So, take example, if you are True Blue startup, or basically you're a small SME who's trying to explore the e-commerce channel and all.
Correct.
We are actually flexible with regards to our solutions and all, because if we truly see the passion in you, if we truly see your product or being very promising in the market and all, we will actually support you in terms of building the infrastructure at almost zero cost, because we want to promote this entrepreneurial spirit and all. So we will actually guide you how to build up your website, how to position your product accordingly. But more importantly and all, because we control the logistics in terms of the freight, in terms of the warehousing, in terms of the final mile, be it international or domestic, we are able to make sure that their customers' experience is met fully.
Okay. Oh, great.
But on the flip side, take example, if you're a multinational company or you're an established e-commerce player, a marketplace or a platform and all.
Correct.
What we do is basically we help you be more competitive and all. So as I highlighted earlier, it was perceived that for you to do business in Southeast Asia, you require to open up national DC in every country and all.
Yeah.
We are trying to change that mentality, whereby we are showing people to say that actually it's not true that from Singapore if you set up a regional DC in Singapore, you can be cost competitive, and we can do B2C easily from Singapore to Indonesia, Singapore to Malaysia, Singapore to and whatnot. Yep.
Okay. So I mean, as per the details I got, you have around 35 clients to date, and your forecast is around 120 clients by the end of this year.
Yes.
And I mean, are you all on track for that, or what? Above schedule?
I think we are above schedule and all. I mean, we've been honestly for the past 4 months that we have operated, we've been humbly blessed.
Oh, great. That's
I would say that I tell my staff that this entrepreneur journey for the past 4 months is more of a spiritual learning rather than anything else and all. I mean, I wouldn't have imagined a brand such as Cotton On Group working with us, allowing us to serve them globally.
Correct.
You know? So again, we've been lucky, you know.
Yes. So I mean, you have your prop-up store, the furniture group, you have Vermilion Group, you have Mattress King, and of course Cotton On. So you're seeing most of this growth or the customers any particular region, or it's Singapore focused?
Not true. What we are, one of our major, I would say, market that we are importing is actually Indonesia.
Okay.
So we actually are moving close to around 300 to 400 packages per day B2C to Indonesia accordingly.
Okay. Oh.
And I said this with I say this that this is surprising purely because it was believed that it is very challenging to do B2C into Indonesia.
Correct.
But we have proof that our concept work, that we are able to assist major brands to do B2C into Indonesia almost very seamlessly. And also Indonesia to us is a very key market and all. But again, while other service provider or other, I would say, logistics startup moving into Indonesia by physically being in Indonesia, we are taking a different approach where we are showing people that we don't need to be physically there, but we still can ship B2C into Indonesia.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So people like your Anchanto, Ninja Van and all, are they like competition for you all, or who would be your real competition?
I think to be very honest, when I started this and all, I started with a different mentality. I wanted to collaborate rather than compete.
Okay.
I don't think there's any one player that can say that they can do everything and anything very well.
Absolutely.
So again, I'm open to developing strategic collaboration with everybody and anybody. And for the time being, again, we are in active talks with actually people, companies that people assume are our competitors, but actually we position ourselves as solutions partner.
Okay. Great. So what are the key challenges you're seeing faced by logistics startups in this region?
I think one of the key challenges that I realize is the lack of experience to be very honest. I've been humbly lucky that I managed to bring some of my team members from Sets Cargo, from Rebirth, from Zalora and all.
Yeah.
This company and all. But some of the challenges that I see because of the lack of experience, the lack of knowing the industry very well and all. So they are doing things at a perceived understanding and all.
Got it.
So that's why I see the opportunity of iCommerce being successful purely because what we are actually selling and all, again, we are not a technology company, we are a supply chain company. What we are selling is the experience.
Correct.
And how we can assist all the brands in their e-commerce platform in their supply chain model and all.
Okay. So till now you all are bootstrapped, or have you all raised any funding till now?
Till this very day, to be very honest, we started with angel investor of $500,000 Singapore dollars.
Okay.
But we are in the process of raising right now. Hopefully within the next month or so, there will be news on with regards to us closing our official seed funding or Series A.
Great. All the best. So, moving out of business, Ali, who influenced you most in life?
I would say honestly, my parents. My father purely because honestly, he started out as a warehouseman in Singapore Airlines.
Okay.
So I tell people that warehousing or logistics is in my blood.
Yeah, correct.
Then secondly, of course, is my mother. This will sound very cheesy or corny, but I think as a son, I believe you become a good son. Definitely with your mother's prayer, everything will turn out well.
Oh, that's not corny, don't worry. And over time, what's some of the best advice you've received?
I think this is one of the best advice that I've ever received and all. There is no good time to start a business.
That's very true.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, if you truly believe in something, just do it.
Absolutely.
There's no perfect timing and all. Just do it. See whether you can be successful or not. Rather than just dream about it. Yeah.
Correct. So, you've done various corporate jobs. When did you know that you were meant for entrepreneurship?
Very good question and all. Actually, strangely enough and all, I was even though I was in I would say traditional companies such as in Sets Cargo, in Expeditors and all, I was labeled almost like a maverick and all.
Okay.
the management understand or appreciate how I work, and they gave me the free reins actually to develop businesses and all. Again, during my time in SET Cargo, I was in charge in developing several new units which focus on logistics and all.
Oh, okay.
So it was from there that I realized, hey, I have this passion to basically, again, to develop new things and make it successful. And that time, perhaps it was with the company's money, and now with
Your own
investors.
money. Yeah, correct, correct.
Yep.
And I mean, over this time, any low points in your career where you just wanted to completely give up?
Again, why I said that has been a spiritual journey for the past 4 months and all. There are certain times of the month and all when you need to meet payroll, when
Correct.
you need to do your account payable, that you truly like look at the numbers and just wondered why the hell did I start this and all.
Correct.
But again, I think with a lot of belief in God and all, being somehow everything pulls through accordingly and all. Again, I think at the end of the day, if you truly have that passion to succeed, just have that a bit of faith, and everything will just fall into place.
Great.
I would say that and all. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, anything, I mean, any launch or release happening at present which is getting you and the team really excited?
Again, now we we have started 4 months already and all, but
Yeah.
for the last 2 months, we actually been focused in selling our B2C Indonesia solution. The uptake is very good and all, and we are excited to go to the market and basically go wild on this and all.
Great.
So we're actually going to basically merchants in Hong Kong, in Taiwan, in Thailand, in China, and also to say that, hey, if you want to do B2C to Indonesia, we are the solutions
Oh, okay.
provider.
Okay.
So we are excited about that, and we believe that again, since everybody want to enter Indonesia and all, we are giving them an alternative solution that they have never thought about, that basically can help them.
Great.
No.
And where do you see yourself in your business in the next 2 to 3 years?
2-3 years, I think again, we want to position ourselves as a premier solutions provider in terms of supply chain and all. Again, even though we are focused on e-commerce and all, even though we have the ability to assist to build your website or do your product management, our core product at the end of the day is still operations and all. So we would only assist if you give us your operations, we will assist you to do your website and to do your product management, purely because again, we position ourselves as a supply chain service provider, and I see that 2 to 3 years from now, we are able to compete easily with any of the big boys, purely because we focus in developing niche, unique solution to enter the different market, which is deemed as challenging. So now we have solutions for Indonesia. In the next quarter, we are focusing in creating solutions for Thailand, Philippines, and Vietnam. So we are pretty excited that we believe that our B2C solutions to all these different countries would be very successful.
Great.
And would be accepted easily by the industry. This is purely because I'm anticipating the e-commerce market to be reaching an inflection point when many of the big players such as the Lazada, the Zalora, who have multiple DCs in multiple countries, would start figuring out that, hey, I have too much DC, I have too much capex, have too much opex to scale down, and again, we are positioned to assist them to be more competitive if they want to run a regional DC solution.
Okay, all the best with that. And finally, Ali, any last thought or piece of advice that you may have missed that you want to give our listeners?
Again, I think at the end of the day, entrepreneurship, to be very honest, have faith in yourself, have faith in your team, and have faith in God, to be very honest.
All right. Please let our listeners know how they can reach you and also iCommerce.
Okay, again, I'm available at ali.madihit at iCommerce.asia. Feel free to drop me an email anytime. I'm also available in LinkedIn and Facebook at the same address. With regards to iCommerce itself, again, if you go to iCommerce.asia, again, you can reach out to us there.
All right, great. Again, Ali, thanks for taking the time to talk to us and inspiring our listeners to start their own ventures. And all the very best at building and scaling iCommerce.
Thank you for your time.
Do visit icommerce.asia and visit us at theasianentrepreneur.com to get the show notes. And please subscribe to our show on all the platforms and leave a review on your thoughts about the show. Thank you.
Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to the show so you don't miss an episode. In the meantime, head over to theasianentrepreneur.com and check out show notes and other information to motivate you in your entrepreneurial endeavors.